This is our last two speakers for the evening. Thank you so much for staying with us, everybody. I know it's getting cold, but give it up for these two gentlemen, the Slugs from UC Santa Cruz.
Thank you. Can I get UCSC to make some noise? All right. I'm Michael Wool. I'm the founder and president of Slugs for Coast Connect, and I am a third-year environmental studies and econ major at UCSC.
Yeah, Michael. Hi, everybody. My name is Zennon Ulyate-Crow. I'm a first-year politics major and president of the newly founded Student Housing Coalition.
So I think I can speak for most UCSC students when I say that the status quo of our public transportation system is not working. Buses bound for campus are consistently late, consistently overcrowded, and bunched with other routes on their way to campus. Students commuting with public transportation have to allocate significant portions of their day just to get to and from campus. Obviously, those who can afford to drive to campus do, as the remote parking lots at East and West Remote are consistently full every day. Regardless of if you take the bus or drive to campus, all UCSC students pay $110 a quarter to use Metro. Even with that, our buses are still late, the drivers are still understaffed, and the system is still painfully out of date when it comes to live tracking. This is why we demand a Metro board position opens up for currently enrolled UCSC or Cabrillo College students. We pay for Metro, and we need to make sure we as riders have a voice when the decisions are being made. Today, we walk down the beautiful, albeit short, completed section of the rail trail. I live and work in the west side, and the protected trail has made my personal commute a breeze. I'm able to get on my bike and take that instead of going down Mission to the west side. It really made my life a lot easier. But it's hard to go on that trail and not notice the elephant in the room of the unused rail corridor. This corridor has potential for high-capacity public transit that connects neighborhoods outside of the UCSC network to UCSC, South County, and beyond. There are special interests who try to tell us transit riders what we want. They tell us we can't have light rail. They tell us Metro is good enough, but we call bullshit. The rail corridor exists, and we have a duty to future generations to ensure that high-quality transit along the corridor is possible. We have a duty to South County to ensure that they are included in these conversations. Don't let people who have never had to rely on public transit tell us what we need and what we can have. Santa Cruz is not unique in the sense that our city and greater county have prioritized automobile traffic at the expense of every other method of transportation. We have tiny sidewalks, painted bike lanes, and frequently late buses. This is why we need to demand a systems-wide change to our public transportation system, because the reality is the rail trail alone will not solve the crisis. A student position on the Metro board will not solve the crisis, but these things together can help address inequity. So hopefully we don't need to keep having marches for transit inequity, you know? Pass the mic to Zennon.
Thank you, Michael. And I think when we talk about a lot of transportation issues, as we've all gathered here today to know, we can talk about how access to transportation is access to opportunity.
Yes.
I'm a first-year student at UCSC, and as one of the 55% of UCSC Metro riders, I have had the first-hand experience of the catastrophe that is our local transportation system. It takes 40 minutes each way to get from downtown to campus. Compare that to the 10 minutes it takes to drive, and you can see the inequities between how the students who don't have the resources for a car are forced to lose an hour or more in time than those who can afford a car to do something as basic as getting groceries. That's an hour of time that could be used to study, to work, to spend time with family. That is inequity. And that time lost is lost access to opportunity for the most vulnerable members of our society.
That's right.
Over 75% of Metro riders make less than $35,000 annually. And on average, it costs $14,500 to own a car in California. You can see the problem. So when we talk about late buses, when we talk about unsafe bike lanes, when we talk about service cuts, these are not decisions that just means it takes a little bit longer to get to the park. These are critical failures that result in people who can't miss a paycheck being consistently late to work, students who are struggling to pay for an education, missing class, and more lost time from activities. All of these factors combine to make access to mobility the number one determinant in an individual's ability to escape poverty. The number one. As president of the Student Housing Coalition, I've had many painful conversations with students and staff who've been forced to move over an hour away from campus just to keep a roof over their head. The displacement epidemic is presenting a new, unprecedented challenge for transportation. The lack of new homes in the city compared to an increase in jobs pushes people to live in far-flung suburbs that are challenging to serve by the transit that we need. We need to provide transit options for those pushed out of the city to ensure access to the high-paying jobs in Santa Cruz and our university, while simultaneously welcoming new neighbors to stop this vicious cycle. So long as commute times get longer and longer for those that cannot afford to live here, we are effectively mandating lower levels of opportunity than the generations that came before us. Thank you. As for the climate, the implications of not taking action have never been clearer. As a community, we experienced the CZU complex fires firsthand. That was the result of a freak lightning storm undoubtedly influenced by climate change. In the city, brand new numbers show that 69% of our emissions come from transportation. 69%. That's nearly 3/4 of all of our emissions. The single greatest thing we can do for our planet is to switch to greener transportation modes. Not to mention that by our inaction, we are, again, enabling the most significant issue that detriments our future generations' access to opportunity. Without a functioning climate, we have no future. The fact is, we can act. I believe that we can make the change. Rail trail is possible. Higher frequencies are possible. Reliable transit is possible. Safer streets for all is possible. More protected bike lanes are possible. Better parking policy is possible. We can do it. We just need to make sure we prioritize these things to make a better community.
Well, I just hope that we can capitalize this movement into structural change for transportation to help the climate, equity, and to ensure opportunity for future generations. Thank you guys for all coming out. I just want to give a quick shout out to Lonnie for, having this idea and making this happen. This really could not have happened without her vision and her dream for this movement. And thank you to everyone who came out. I know it's cold. Everyone put on your sweatshirts. We got this.
Let's turn this activism into action.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.